Carmine here with Bedhead Fitness and our daily Smart Circuit. Today's Smart Circuit is going to be a good way to start the week, so we're here at Monday morning. Our focus is going to be, as always, on core. We're going to have a large chest and shoulder focus. You'll feel quite a arm workout. That'll come through a modified push-up and plank drill, which I'll describe to you. The tool that we're going to use, the fitness tool today, is a body bar. So all of these motions might be done with or without the body bar, might be done on the floor without. The other thing that I'm using is actually a little pretty fairly strong metal crate and barrel waste basket. It would have to be something that's cylindrical and strong in order to do this and to use the body bar as I'm going to use it. You guys might be doing a different variation on it, which I will show you. So again, always within the movements we have variations and modifications and progressions so that you can attempt the motion no matter your fitness level. So we're going to do an uneven rolling push-up. We're going to move into a skater drill to sort of emphasize the quads, glutes, and get the cardio going. And then we're going to come into a Russian twist position from a seated position and use the body bar for a press with some trunk rotation to come back to core. So the three together tie the body together well. It does hit all muscle groups. It is more anterior, a little more front of the body than back of the body, but the next workout we do works more the back of the body than the front of the body. So what I'm basically going to do, well, let's talk about your push-up and your plank initially. The first thing to do is that we need to establish if you're able to create a high plank. So here I have a nice straight body position, shoulders to hips to ankles, very straight line. You need to be able to accomplish that. You need the core strength for that initially. If not, you'd be working from your knees. Now, even when you're trying to work your knees, try to come to a push-up and then drop your knees. Otherwise, you may have a butt-up position, which isn't a good knee push-up position. So you could do this from the knees. I'm going to be rocking back and forth, so the principle, if you didn't have the body bar or the waist basket, is you could just rock up, push up, rock up, push up. And what's happening is I'm turning a 4-point plank into a 3-point plank. And that engages the core. So what I'm going to be doing is using the body bar on this, which is kind of precarious. So this is a pretty high-level modification, not an easy thing to do. And I'm going to place the body bar on my waist basket. And from there, I'm going to push up, rock, rock, push up, rock, rock, push up, rock, rock, push up, rock, rock. So I'm going to stop talking. My feet are wider than shoulder width. And along with the chest and shoulder work, my core is really highly engaged. So you can't see it working, but my stomach is hard at work throughout. So any plank and rotational rocking movement from a plank that takes you from 4 points to 3 points will be creating an increased amount of resistance on one side and then the other. So it's great for the total core, not just your central abs, but your transverse abs, obliques, and serratus. as well as the back extensors. So I'm going to come into our skater drill. So our skater drill, and I'm going to use the body bar here. I'm going to shift the camera a little bit. So with our skater drill here, initially we can handle it as a side lunge. So I'm just going to step from one side to the other side. One side to the other side. So if you see, my feet are in the same plane, the same straight line, and I'm just leaning into and creating tension here and lengthening here. The body bar is just to keep posture and add a little bit of resistance. So I'm going to turn that into a hopping movement. So you guys get the basic idea there. I'm dynamically transferring all of my weight to balance on one foot, and then dynamically transferring my weight to balance on the other foot. So if you do that effectively, my heart rate is elevating right now. It's continuing to elevate since I finished. And we use this as the interval to take us to about 80% of your heart rate maximum. From there, we move into an active recovery motion. So your interval takes your heart rate high, and then we want to bring it back down to something that's a little bit more casual. So adjusting the camera once more, we're going to come to our traditional Russian twist seated position. So I frequently go over this position. In your Russian twist, when you're ready to go to work, the knees are together, the chest is up, and my shoulders are behind my hips. My back and my waist are lengthened. They're not compressed. So from there, what I'm going to do is take my body bar, create my press, rotate my torso, press, rotate my torso. So I am turning my upper body and spine uniformly. I'm not dipping or getting eccentric with my arm movements. I'm rotating my torso as one entire unit. Now, the higher I can keep my chest, and the better I can balance and lean back so I'm very light on my heels, the more my stomach will be at work. And that's what you hear in my voice from the way I talk. So this body bar is a light tool. It's a 15-pound body bar. It's not the type of weight that I use in my typical workout, and I wouldn't do this circuit using that body bar. I'd use something quite a bit heavier. But for home purposes, it really is the volume. It's the number of repetitions you're doing and the entire amount of work that you're putting into your circuit. So your first move is, as we said, a rocking or rolling push-up. It's a variation of a plank. It's a variation of a push-up. Two things that we've worked on before in all different forms. That'll be a foundation. It just The high plank is just a great way to build a balance of front to back core strength and give you upper body strength necessary to make everyday life a little bit easier on you. The second movement will focus on the lower body. It will test and challenge your joints and connective tissues. It will test your flexibility a little bit. It will produce some dynamic flexibility. It will make sure you have external stabilization in your knees so that if you slip on the ice, you don't risk injuring your knee just because it's not accustomed to feeling force outward in an outward motion. And then we come back to your Russian twist, which is once again coming back to a pressing motion. And in that pressing motion, we're re-engaging the chest and shoulders, which takes us back to our first movement. And since that movement also uses chest, shoulders, and core, we're right back to the beginning using synergistic muscle groups. So remember that the circuit would continue for several circuits to occupy at least 20 minutes of hard work. And that's not like warming up and getting ready. It's got to be at least 20 minutes of hard work to hit the sort of scientific threshold of what's effective. And then hopefully you're working it up towards 30 or 40 minutes. In terms of rep count, I'm not big on rep count. I want you to work towards fatigue until your body is saying, "Ooh, I don't know if I can do this anymore." And when you're doing drills that are heart rate oriented, you also want to use physical indications there. So you can wear a heart rate monitor. You can do the math to find out your target heart rate. But generally, using a rule of thumb that doesn't necessitate you having a tool to measure your heart rate is if you're moderately breathless, so that it would not be easy to talk to someone, you're probably hitting the heart rate you need to. Once you hit a heart rate where you couldn't talk to someone at all, you're probably getting to the aerobic threshold and you're getting a little bit anaerobic, and you're not getting the fat burning and aerobic value that you want to get out of that drill. But great work to have great legs. Not that mine are the best in the world. And then we come back into that Russian twist, and the Russian twist really will rely more on what's going on with the core and maintaining your Russian twist position than your press, unless you have something extremely heavy that you're pressing. But I would suggest using something moderate and make it more about pre-exhausting your upper body while you're focusing on your core and your Russian twist with that trunk rotation drill. So that's your circuit, your smart circuit for the day. This is Carmine from Bedhead Fitness. Please subscribe to the channel. Use this as a resource to get started with fitness. Every one of these movements is modifiable for any fitness level, from ages 20 up to 70. And my oldest client in the studio right now is 77 years old. God bless her. Like the video if you have found it productive or helpful, and please provide direction or any suggestions you have for the channel in the comment section. All of these things help me and help me continue the video series, and hopefully this becomes a way for people to fill the gaps when they're unable to make the gym, or for those who don't feel like they're ready for a gym yet, a way to comfortably get started with body movement in a safe way at home. So thank you very much, and have a fantastic fitness day. Carmine from Bedhead Fitness checking out.